Good afternoon. No, we're not up. Good afternoon, softball fans, and welcome to the ISC Canada East Championship game. Niagara Stompers, Bear Creek Express. We're about 15-20 minutes removed from the losers bracket final. Bear Creek Express roaring back to take out Toronto Batmen. Down 4 runs, Jeff Lyons grand slam. Quentin Bruce, our leadoff batter for the Express, leading the way for Bear Creek for the Stompers. This is a rematch of the winners bracket final about 4 hours ago. Wemomata back on the board for the Stompers and in for a strike. Bruce having a whale of a tournament, just picking up where he left off last year. He is our ISC Canada East 2022 Player of the Year. We did that presentation yesterday. Quentin 3 for 4 in the game that just ended. A couple RBIs. Just been on a tear here all weekend. There's a little hopper on the infield coming across and making the play. Reese Evans. Good play to get Quentin Bruce. A little squibber out in front. You're going to see it here. Just a little two hopper and a sidearm throwing a strong one from Evans. Tyler Pauli to the dish. Looks at a strike from Wemomata. And misses upstairs. Looks like he took a little bit off that too. Just off the outside corner. Trevor Topping, our home plate umpire. Justin Van Horn is out at first base. Pauli will foul that one straight back. And that's going to drop literally right into my feet behind us here. You'd think you'd be pretty safe back here, but undercover. Got words with Tyler. Called strike 3. Outside corner. Tyler Pauli down on strikes. Colin Walsh in the 3 spot for the Express. One-time MVP of this tournament about 7 or 8 years back. Mata mixing speeds already. That one was little slow spinner, went on the inside corner. Walsh let that one go by. And this one is driven out to left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. He's going to round first, but retreat back. So Colin Walsh aboard with a 2-out single.
Nice hit.
So Travis Jones to the plate. He will, first pitch swinging, high hop on Brock Atwell, but stays with it. And got that one up near the collarbone. But right in front of it, a good fielder should be, and flips to first to get Jones. So they strand the single by Walsh in the top of the first. We'll go to the home half. Niagara Stompers coming to the plate.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Riley Mannion takes the last of his warm-up tosses for Bear Creek Express. Mannion getting the start here in the final. Sean Cleary, Justin Schofield combined for the win over the Toronto Batmen in the loser bracket final. Riley Mannion did get some work against the Stompers in the winner bracket final. So some exposure here for the youngster in a championship game early in the ISC tournament season. He'll face Teo Migliavaca leading things off for the Stompers, followed by Blaine Milheim, Kim Schiller, Dylan Cunningham, designated player today in the 4 spot, Pitt Arona, Blake Underwood, Reese Evans, Juan Cruzera, and Brock Atwell in the 9 spot for the Stompers, coached by Larry Lynch, Brad Thompson. First pitch swing, and Migliavaca drills this one into the screen. Top 3 for Niagara Stompers have just been murderer's row here all weekend at Ketterson Park in Mitchell. Migliavaca, Milheim, Schiller, just a 3-headed monster for the Stompers. In their game last night against the Batmen, against Hill United, they were at one point 6 for 8 with 3 walks for Migliavaca. You couldn't keep them off the bases. The called strike 3 here, down on strikes, looking to Migliavaca. Blaine Milheim to the plate. One of the things we're going to need to do, Joe Todd and I, the conclusion of this game is pick a most valuable player. These 3 will definitely be in that conversation. Milheim, right from the opening game, has been a terror at the plate. This one fouled off, so 0-2 on Milheim. Man, he's got a good drop, working on the rise ball, can mix that in for a strike or a waste pitch. And developing a changeup too, and no better tutors than Sean Cleary and Justin Schofield. That's one of the reasons he chose to come here to the Express. Knew he was going to be the number 3, but the opportunity to learn from two of the best, and Ryan Boland behind the plate. Team Canada experience abounds on this Bear Creek Express squad. Stompers more international route. Gets Underwood, or not to Underwood, but Milheim swinging, and Dallas Cornelius getting the start behind the dish for the Bear Creek Express. Ryan Boland has caught a couple already in a row, and it's up to 26-27 degrees here in Mitchell, Ontario. It's a glorious, glorious day for a ball tournament. Mannion working ahead, doing a good job to get ahead of the Stomper batters here early. Cam Schiller now to the dish. Up and in to the Texas shortstop. This one is drilled down the right field line. Fair ball. That's going to get down to the corner, rattle around, and Schiller will put the air brake on and cruise into second base with a 2-out double. Dylan Cunningham, designated player for the Stompers. Having a good weekend, picking up RBIs as this top 3 has been on base for him all weekend long. This misses upstairs. Mannion from up near Napanee, Ontario, and his alumnus, the Napanee Express, the winners of our U20 Canada East Championship here this week. Ran the table today. They beat the Wilmot Thunder 15-5 in the semifinal this morning, and then took out the Simcoe Rostock Braves 10-2 in the championships game. So a couple of 5-inning games for Napanee Express. Congratulations to Corey Brooks and the rest of the Express. And top pitcher for the U20 division, Brad Barker from Napanee. And Ty Franklin, the MVP. Congratulations to the Express all the way around. So there's Dallas Cornelius' one trip out to the mound this inning as the new defensive delay rule being enforced here this week. Swing and a miss by Cunningham. The Legends division, Sudbury Relics, 10-2 winners over St. Thomas Bear Creek Storm. St. Thomas rattling off some wins, some upset wins, taking out the division winners Waterdown Hammer, and then ran into the buzzsaw that is Sudbury Relics. This one fouled into the screen. Ward Goss, top pitcher, and MVP Glenn Ormsby, a rookie, if you will, in the 50 and over division in the Legends side. But Sudbury Relics, congratulations to you. Another ISC Canada East Legends Championship. They've got a pair of those, and they've got a pair of ISC Legends Championships too. High one hopper out to second base. Pauli will pick that up and turn and flip to first. So each team strands a 2-out base hit. Scoreless through one complete. The ISC Canada East Championship game on Softball Premier TV.
dream catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Jeff Lyons to the plate to lead things off for the Bear Creek Express. Top of the second inning, Jeff, a grand slam home run to help propel the Express into this game in the loser bracket final. 8-5 winners over the Toronto Batmen. Toronto earlier 6-1 winners over Hill United Chiefs, and then they beat the Oswegan Redmen 9-3 earlier this morning. First pitch swinging, up in his eyes. Jeff Lyons pounds this one into the 3.5 hole. Stays hot for Bear Creek. Jason Hill come up to the plate. Jason, transplant from Hill United Chiefs, a stellar 10-year run with the Chiefs, 5 ISC World Championships. First pitch swing fouls this one off. Jason's been in probably more championship games than you and I can count together, but had never played an ISC with Ryan Boland, Sean Cleary, some of the other Newfoundland contingent, and wanted to take advantage of that opportunity. His longtime traveling partner, Steve Mullally, had retired. Pitterona snaps it to first and back on the return trip. Call it 2. That's a snazzy looking double play out there. Pitterona to Cam Schiller to Brock Atwell. 3, 6, 4 equals 2. These guys can play, as the expression goes. Jordan Pomeroy. Momata just misses. Pomeroy, the youngest of the Newfoundland contingent on the Bear Creek Express. Includes Cleary, Boland, Hill, Kyle Ezekiel. Justin Schofield's almost an honorary Newfie. Sure, he's been screeched in. In fact, I can attest to it. Little tap on the chest from Waymo Mata, says that's on me. He and Juan Zera were playing with a knuckleball in warm-ups. I've yet to see him use that in a game situation, but you never know what to expect. Doesn't like the signs. There's a strike in the outside corner. Mott a little unsure of the count. It is 3-1. And just not quite on the same page here with Zera just yet. Maybe he wants to throw that knuckleball. Who knows? Out to Cam Schiller. You can put paid to that. Some good defensive work there by the Niagara Stompers. Set down the Bear Creek Express in order in the top of the second. We'll go to the bottom half. Stompers coming to the plate. good friend Andy Bader from the Mitchell Advocate, who was here covering the tournament for the local newspaper and website. Andy, a longtime friend of Fast Pitch in the area, and longtime personal friend too. So always good to see Andy and appreciate the coverage that he gives to the game here in South Perth and across Ontario. A lot of the fans that are here are regulars, and certainly want to acknowledge all of them that have come out and supported the Mitchell Host Committee. And thank you who joined us online all weekend. Just heard from Aaron Trude out in Peterborough. I know there are fans watching globally, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia, all across Canada, the U.S. Thank you everybody who has been with us this weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, sons, daughters that are joining us on Father's Day. Everybody's got a father somewhere, I hope, in heaven or here on earth. Pitterona, first pitch, flies out to left field. I'll bring up Blake Underwood. Speaking of fathers, Pitterona's dad, Brad, going into the ISC Hall of Fame this year. Hope we're going to see Brad in Wisconsin. Played a part of his career there with County Materials. Won a couple of ISC World Championships with that squad. Another one with the Toronto Gators, several with the Jarvis Travelers. So between Wisconsin and Ontario, big part of Brad's career. And went out as the reigning ISC MVP 2016 World Champion with the Gators. Mannion doing an exceptional job here this afternoon, working ahead in the count. And if that's something he can take away from Sean Cleary this year, it'll be the advantage indeed of working ahead of batters and being able to set them up for the next pitch and the next pitch and then the out pitch. Laced. That's over the head of the shortstop, Brandon Horn. So Blake Underwood, who's been hitting the ball well this week, he's aboard with a base hit. Reese Evans to the dish. Reese, a member of the New Zealand Black Sox national team, and they've got a new coach, Hall of Famer Thomas McKeah, taking over. Announced just last week as the new head coach of the New Zealand Black Sox. And again, Mannion opens up with a strike. Swing and a miss. It's off the glove into the screen. A favorable bounce for Dallas Cornelius. But scampering up the second goes Blake Underwood. I think Reese helped out Mannion there by swinging at that pitch up in his eyes. But got Underwood up to second nonetheless. And same pitch, same result, an extra 60 feet of real estate. So that's 2 free bases for Blake Underwood. I'm not sure if Mannion is trying to overthrow that pitch. Just misses off the outside corner. Good pitch, some courage to take that with 2 strikes from Reese Evans. A change of pace. This one is lifted out to short right. Here's the throw, and it is to nobody in particular. And trotting home easily is Blake Underwood. And those 2 extra bases make all the difference in the world. Blake Underwood is still at first base without those 2 wild pitches. And this one lifted out to deep left, giving chase. Quentin Bruce dives, can't come up with it off his glove. Jordan Pomeroy over there covering, gets it back into the infield. And a 2-out double for Juan Cruzera. And now we've got some action up for the Bear Creek Express. And Colin Walsh, left-hander, is throwing down in the bullpen. And this is eerily like last year. This last year's championship game, the Express down early. Colin Walsh came on in relief and picked up the win as they would come back against the Kitchener Twins and rallied for the Canada East Championship. They are the defending champions. And could we see history repeat itself in 2023? Brock Atwell at the plate. Swing and a miss. Brock fresh off the U23 World Cup representing the New Zealand Major Sox. 6th finish. Brock had a whale of a tournament. Leading hitter for New Zealand. Swing and a miss there. Talked to Brock Friday night here in Mitchell and volunteered his services, anything he could do to help out, and he comes by that naturally. Chris Atwell back in New Zealand. I'm sure you're watching. It's Monday morning in New Zealand. Hello to you and everybody that you might be watching with. Just a real personable young man up there. That's off the glove of Cornelius, and up to third base is Evans. And Cornelius and Mannion got to get on the same page. It's costing them bases here. Chases upstairs. Mannion gets the third out, strands that runner at third, but the damage done. Blake Underwood singles, moves around on a couple of wild pitches, and an RBI sac fly by Reese Evans gives the Stompers a 1-0 lead. Will go to the top of the third. Bear Creek Express will look to get back to even.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.com.
Dallas Cornelius. Catch for Bear Creek in the championship game here. Brandon Horn, and then back to the top of the chop. 8-9-1 for Bear Creek. Chases that drop ball downstairs from Mata. Little slow curveball there from Mata, trying to entice Dallas to chase after that one, but not fishing. Just off the outside corner. Goes after that rise ball. Mata certainly pacing himself right now, not really pushing the accelerator too hard. Swing and a miss. A low rise ball from Mata. Cornelius down on strikes. When was the Venezuela tournament? 4 weeks ago?
Finished in March.
March?
Yes.
So Mata maybe hasn't thrown in the last couple of months too much anyway, after that Venezuela tournament. Was he in Mexico?
In Mexico, no.
No?
No.
So it's probably been at least a couple months since Mata has seen game action. Only a couple innings yesterday. Went 5 this morning in the winter bracket final against Bear Creek.
Venezuela.
We offer our condolences too to the Mata family in the passing of Waymo, Lucas, and Val's father a couple of weeks back, and I believe he might be headed home later this week. Don't think he's going to be in Simcoe at the Chiefs Challenge. That's my understanding, at least anyway. Horn pokes this one foul down the left side. We talked on the broadcast yesterday about Brandon Horn retiring after 2019. And of course, nobody played 2020, 2021. Came out of retirement last year. Didn't really miss a beat. Made the all-world team. Back in consideration for Team Canada on that 40-player mix. And this one is poked out to center. Migliavaca will range over and haul that one in. About to the top of the shop, Quentin Bruce. Ground out and a good play by Reese Evans to get Quentin leading off the game. He has not been held off base very often. So I watch the game summaries come in. Quentin 2 for 3, 3 for 4, 2 for 3, 3 for 4. Every game like clockwork. And he looks at a strike here. Mata doing a good job of mixing speeds. It's not just about the blazing rise ball today. Stretching out the back a little bit. And that one just off the corner. And you see him flexing the shoulders too. You have to wonder if he's got a little back tightness. low strike on the outside corner. And chases upstairs for strike 3. Huimamata picks up a pair of strikeouts in the top of the third. We'll go to the bottom half. Niagara Stompers out in front, 1-0. Paul McCart has been hollering to home plate umpire Trevor Topping about a change for about 15 seconds. Trevor was engaged in a conversation with Jeff Lyons and maybe studiously letting Paul McCart ramble on. We'll inquire as to the nature of the change. So Brandon Horn comes out of the game at shortstop. Nestor Nova will take his spot. Migliavaca had an elation to bunt, but it's a called strike at the bottom of the zone. Teo is becoming a perennial all-world player at ISC. He's got at least 4 of them, I believe, anyway. I'm sure I think of at least 4 where he's been named. Picked up his first ISC World Championship last year with the Twins, part of that migration over to the Stompers in the off-season. And this team looks ready to contend yet again. Wanted to drop bunt down, but fouled it straight back. Here at Cadison Park in Mitchell, Ontario. It got a little cool Friday evening. Got close to single digits, but not quite all the way. Yesterday, warmer still. Today, a glorious 26, 27 degrees in Mitchell. There's just a hint of a breeze to keep things fresh. Little flare off the fist and a great play by Nestor Nova as he goes in behind the bag and reels that in over his head. Flashy defense there by Mr. Nova. Blaine Milheim up to the dish. Mannion works in an own off speed. Takes a page out of Huimamata's book and drops in a strike. This one lifted straight up. Pauli will range back out onto the grass, and as it tails away from him a little bit, he'll reach out and reel that one in for the second out of the inning. That was a major league pop-up. Almost came down with ice on it. So a pair of pop-ups here for the top two. What can Cam Schiller do? 2-out double. His first trip. He lays one down to the right field line. Little change of speed again. Schiller draws some oohs from the bench as he fouls that one off into the screen. These two, Milheim, Schiller, both Milheim in college ball. Schiller made it into the minors. This one is lifted up on the infield. Nova will camp under that. And Riley Mannion does a great job keeping the big three off base here in the third. A trio of pop-ups. We'll go to the top of the fourth. We'll see if the Express can get the train out of the station.
Have it up our next weekend, don't worry.
Off air, we were just asking Kevin Quip, who is from the Mitchell area here, has been helping Joe Todd and I today. This beautiful new pavilion that they built here in Ketterson Park, Luciano wanted to know how come we didn't get a press box out of it too. Kevin said it's in the plans for next year. We'll have to see if that budget proposal gets passed. Tyler Pauli, second look at Wemomata. Just off the corner. Mata shakes the head, says come see, come saw. Called strike, top of the zone. Top of the fourth. Stompers out in front 1-0. Blake Underwood singled in the second. A couple of wild pitches got him to third. And then Reese Evans, sac fly RBI. That accounts for the game's only run. Jeff Lyons had a single for Bear Creek. They also got one from Colin Walsh. That one downstairs from Mata. Lyons was erased on a very snazzy 3-6-4 double play as Jason Hill hit a sharp one hopper to Pittarona. Chopper takes a high hop for Schiller, and he is as sure-handed out there as anybody on the ISC tournament circuit. And he zips that over to first base to erase Pauli. Colin Walsh to the plate. Colin was warming up down the line last inning. Reminded me of last year when Colin came in relief and picked up the win as Bear Creek came back. They were down 4 or 5 runs in last year's championship game and rallied the last 2 innings to win. Was that the knuckleball from Huemo Mata? A changeup, or was it a knuckle? You're not sure? Yeah, I thought it was a knuckle. They were working on it in warm-up earlier. Walsh, a 2-out single his first trip, but was stranded. This is downstairs. Won the last couple of playoff MVP awards in the Strong St. John's League. With the 3 Cheers squad, he and Jason Hill both on that team. Team Canada member. And this one is drilled out to center. Migliavaca back on the run, jumps and makes the catch out near the fence. Not just the infield that can play ball. Teo Migliavaca amongst the best out there in center field. 2 hard hit balls for Walsh. He's seeing it well right now. Travis Jones. Just off the corner. Ball 1. Travis made the journey over to the Express from the Toronto Batmen. Batmen finishing 3rd in the tournament here. They are contenders just about every year, Joe. I think they finished 3rd last year, too, if I remember correctly. They've won it 2 of the 3 years prior to that. Big cut from Jones. Comes up empty. This one's lifted straight up the elevator shaft. Sham Schiller will come in a few steps from short and wait for that to come down. So 3 up, 3 down. Go the Express in the 4th. Stompers coming to the plate, looking to add to this 1-0 lead. Said hi this morning to Kyle Linton from the Niagara Stompers. Didn't see him yesterday, but here today for Niagara. Former teammate of mine on a couple of occasions, and always a good reunion when we get an opportunity to exchange our hellos. been great to see everybody here this week. We've been watching them on screens from the World Cups, the men's and the U23, and now getting the opportunity to reconnect with everybody. That's one of the great things that I love about this tournament, Joe, is just seeing everybody in person again, getting back to the field. I know you and I have been on the air at various times, obviously throughout the course of the weekend, but I have thoroughly enjoyed catching up with every single player, coach, fan, official that I've had the opportunity to speak to, and it's got to be over 100 over the course of the weekend.
Part of our family.
Part of our family, that's right, it is indeed. Skipped in by Mannion to Dylan Cunningham, leading things off in the fourth. 4, 5, 6 in the Stompers order. Dylan Cunningham, Pitta, Rona, Blake Underwood. Blake Underwood scored the game's only run so far. Colin Walsh heading back out to the right field line to go throw some more. Sean Cleary is playing bodyguard. Called strike on the outside corner. Mikey Walker, who has done double duty here this week. Mike Walker playing for Bear Creek Express, but also with the Simcoe Rostock Braves, the runners-up in the U20 division. So he's been a part of 10 games here this weekend. Drilled out to right and one hop out to right field. Base hit. Dylan Cunningham. Joe, you and I probably remember Dylan Cunningham coming up with the Ponsonby Sting about 10 or so years ago, coming out of junior, making his first appearance, and we're going to get a pinch runner as Wes Short will make his way out onto the field. Wes from Lincoln, Ontario, my hometown, original hometown. Haven't lived there in about 30 years, but Wes from, I think he lives in Beamsville now, which is part of Lincoln, originally in Jordan area. Lived for a spell in Vineland, all these little communities a part of the town of Lincoln. Well, they're part of the region of Niagara that's just outside of St. Catharines for you geography buffs on your way to Niagara Falls. Part of the wine region. Pitterona fouls this one off. Marianne Stroh was lamenting earlier this morning, Joe, as you often do, that nobody can bunt anymore. I would expect Pitterona to have the fundamentals down pretty solidly. The Kiwis work a lot on that. Much less so than we do here in North America. Squares again, and same result. Pitt a bit of a shake of the head, not too happy with himself on that one. I'll tell you something, Joe, one of our sponsors, Lumberjack Sports, I see a lot of the gloves. Nick Shales has been a generous supporter the last few years. We do want to thank Brian Porter and Pete Hill for their sponsorship this weekend, the broadcast program. Live Well for Life, AJ Moses, and his fitness facility here. That one called a strike on the outside corner. Blake Underwood to the dish. AJ Moses, head of the host committee, the Mitchell Mets, the host team, if you will, here this weekend. Not playing, but doing a great job as the hosts. Second year in a row we've been to Mitchell, and I suspect it won't be our last trip here. Just a great facility, 4 diamonds. This wonderful new pavilion that just drew raves from everybody that's been here, and it's been big crowds all weekend long. When you see Luciano's drone shots in between innings, it is the big slate gray roof that is in between 3 of the 4 diamonds. Upstairs from Mannion, and falling behind batters here in the 4th. He's done a good job of working ahead. Walsh continues to throw down the right field line. Well, I think that's a plane. I don't think that one is Luciano's drone. Up a little high. It's almost that loud, though. Scared a couple of guys yesterday. I guess they don't fly drones over the field during the Shooters Bar and Grill games down in Nova Scotia. Knocked Justin Schofield right off the mount. I guess if you're not expecting it, that is probably the last thing you're thinking is going to happen, is somebody's going to buzz the tower with a drone. That's going to be it for Riley Mannion. He will exit stage right. A couple of runners aboard. Colin Walsh will come on. We'll take a break and come back as Colin takes his warm-up tosses.
Creek, they're dropping down to 9. 39 is not our ball game.
Well, that's what I said before. Yeah, that's what I said before. Was they brought in? Sorry, which year are we talking about? Are we talking about last year when Walsh came in and then won the game? Did Ryan? I think Ryan got the whole game last year. Good movement. It's just a completely different look from Riley Mannion and Justin Schofield and Sean Cleary. It's a good option for Paul McCart, Jeff Paulwhite, Doug Charlton, the Brain Trust on the Bear Creek Express. It's a nice option to have in tournaments where there's no cap on pitching. There is a limit of 3 at the ISC World Tournament, but that's not in effect here. Walsh will need to do some landscaping out there. Everything has been tailored to the righties. And with the lefty, his footwork will be the opposite. Look, a bit of a change of pace. And Lisa Evans down on one knee as he fouled that off right off the end of the bat. Up and in. Evans down and out. Walsh just brushed off the sign there with the glove on the hip. Went to the opposite side and just off the outside corner. With the runners aboard, Wes Short out at second, pinch running for Dylan Cunningham, and Blake Underwood at first. Those belong to Riley Mannion. One down as Colin Walsh on in relief, trying to close the door on the Niagara Stompers. Called strike three. Reese Evans wanted to pull the trigger, just couldn't. The 2 out. And Juan Cruzera, who doubled, got as far as third. That was back in the second inning. Downstairs from Walsh, Zera, to nobody's surprise, in agreement with the call that it was a ball. And upstairs from Walsh, ball 2. Brock Atwell in the on-deck circle. Change up. This one's lifted out deep right, or center rather, and out near the fence. Jordan Pomeroy shows that Teo Migliavacca's got nothing on him as he goes back and makes a catch near that 270-foot sign. A couple of good center fielders here. Keep the score 1-0 for the Stompers through 4 complete ISC Canada East Championship game.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Top of 5, Jeff Lyons to lead things off for Bear Creek Express. Jeff, a hard hit single in the second, and then erased on that real nice double play by the Stompers. Downstairs from Mata, who I don't even think Huemo Mata has approached 75% of what he is capable of here this afternoon. He has just been picking his spots, turns up the wick when he needs to a little bit, working on locations and zones with pitches. Fouled straight back from that one. Safe travels to Ed Otterman and Amanda as they make their way out. Eddie here. Paul Byer, get the blue crew here, did a great job all weekend. Just off the outside corner. Just some fantastic officials that we have here in ISC Canada East in our region. We're blessed to have the top ball players, the top teams, but also the top officials too. Couldn't do these tournaments without them. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. Scorekeepers, absolutely right. We have top-notch volunteers too. Marianne, Steve, Diane, Ken, all the folks that have score kept on our behalf. Mary Beth, just do a fabulous job. We can't do it without them. And the stats that we were able to bring you, all the summary write-ups and everything else, is because of the great scorekeepers that we have. Paul McCart's going to ask whether that pitch clipped. I guess it did. So Jeff Lyons is down at first. And we've got a pinch runner.
So Derek Creek's got 44 out, 23, and Mikey Walker's actually 23, not 25.
So it is Mikey Walker who has come on. Mike Walker, I mentioned, doing double duty with Bear Creek as well as Simcoe Rostock Braves. Gets an appearance here in the ISC Canada East Championship game. Pinch running for Jeff Lyons. Hill turns to bunt, pops it up. And that is gathered in. Bit of Rona charging. Don't know how often Jason Hill was called on to bunt. Made contact with it at least. We've seen a lot of guys either can't make contact with it or foul it straight back. But Jason won't be thrilled that he popped it up. Jordan Pomeroy. Ground out his first trip. Chases the rise ball upstairs for strike one. And a called strike, so Mata out in front 0-2. Long look into Juan Cruzera, finally get a signal they like. And this one is poked out to short. Schiller, snap throw back to first. Got him, double off. Cam Schiller, best in the business. 9-1-2, Brock Atwell, Teo Migliavacca, Blaine Milheim for Niagara Stompers. Looking to add on to this 1-0 lead. Bottom of the 5th inning. Sometimes one is just enough, but you'd certainly like to have another couple in reserve. Walsh puts down the bunt. Colin Walsh, good job for the left-handed pitcher. He has to turn almost 360 degrees to make that throw. He's got to probably 270 anyway as he comes all the way around. And a good strong throw to first to get Atwell. Back top of the shop, Teo Migliavacca. Quiet today, 0 for 2 so far. Takes a strike. He and Milheim have been setting the table for Schiller and Cunningham. Swing and a miss over the top. Teo Migliavacca involved in one of the stranger plays I've seen over the years. Back in 2018, the ISC World Tournament in Kitchener with a portable fence. Migliavacca back to the fence, crashes through the fence. He's laying on the partition of the fence. Called strike 3 in the outside corner. He dropped the ball, but he dropped it on the fence. So at that point, it's still a live ball. Had he dropped it on the other side of the fence, it would have been a home run. But because he dropped it on the fence, it's a live ball. It confused one of the runners at the time who could have advanced. He only went as far as second and stranded the batter, who I think was Nick Shales at the time, inside to Milheim. Anyway, Shales got stuck at first. And it could have easily been a 1 or 2 more runs for Hill United in that game. They ended up dropping that decision to the Kitchener Twins back then. This is outside and low. Well, it just reminded me of that play with Teo Migliavacca. There's a picture in the following year's ISC guide, if I recall, too. Two and one of Blaine Milheim. Great podcast with Hilly and Lolly, or to my eternal amusement, Holly and Lily. On the Dust Up guys, Blaine Milheim, a guest, I want to say at least 4 to 6 weeks ago. You can look it up on the Dust Up archives. Great conversation between Steve, Jason, and Blaine. Talked about his baseball background, getting into fast pitch, his progression up the ladder to Team USA. To Hopper out to short, Nova turns, strong throw over to first to get the speedy Milheim. Boy, we're going to put an asterisk beside that one in the book. Some flashy defense on both sides. We'll go to top of the 6th. Bear Creek Express still chasing that 1 run. Ryan Boland pitch hitting for Bear Creek Express in the catcher spot for Dallas Cornelius. 6th inning. Paul McCart and the Brain Crust go to the bench. Right back up the middle. Schiller behind the bag, spins, throws, and throws out Ryan Boland. Boy, that ball looked like it was up the middle, but Schiller out near the grass in behind the bag with the grab. Highlight reel stuff. Brendan Horn back in. He got a couple of innings of rest. Nova made that great play at short on his own. Made a couple of good plays to get that pop fly ranging back to his left. Horn gave one a ride out to center field back in the 3rd inning. This one's popped up. Short left. Underwood calls off Schiller to make the grab on the run. So very quickly, 2 down. And back to the top of the shop for Quentin Bruce. An uncharacteristic quiet day at the top of the shop for both teams. Bruce 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. And takes a called strike opener. Mata has just kind of lulled the Express to sleep here in this one. They got a couple of hits early, but not the blazing speed that we're used to seeing with Mata. Changing pace, mixing speeds, picking his spots on the corners, in and out. That one just off the corner again. 2-1. Made me flinch. Forgot that there's a fence in between us. That one looked like it was labeled for my schnoz. Cody Skelton making his way out of the park, has his youngster in tow. Happy Father's Day indeed to Cody. There's another member of the Bat. And the Express. 3 up, 3 down in the 6th. It'll be last call as we go to the 7th. But first, the bottom of the 6th for the Stompers, clinging to this 1-0 lead. Cam Schiller, Dylan Cunningham, Pitterona, 3-4-5 for Niagara Stompers as we go to the home half of the 6th. Stompers scored 1 back in the 2nd. That's it for the game. That lone run, they have been clinging to that ever since. Wimomata has just befuddled the Bear Creek Express this afternoon with speed changes, good location. This one well hit to left, but that is going to go foul and out of play. Brandon Horn stays back in the game at shortstop. Dallas Cornelius back behind the plate for Bear Creek. Upstairs and away to Cam Schiller. Not a bad idea the way he's been hitting the ball this weekend. Had a double in the first, stranded there. And then pops this one up, but that's back and out of play as well. Into the playground area. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, outside corner. Colin Walsh sits down Cam Schiller. And apart from that single, for the Express, that was job 1. Job 2 would be to score a run. Dylan Cunningham looks at ball 1. Dylan singled back in the 4th. The bottom of the 4th inning, picked up the final 2 outs there. A clean 5th and 1 out here in the 6th. Kevin DiDomenico, 3rd Blue Crew member out there today. They've had a quiet afternoon, Justin Van Horn and Kevin DiDomenico. Little change of pace. That one's fouled back to the screen. These are the last 2 teams at the park. We started with 21 on Friday evening. Sudbury Relics are Legends champions. Napanee Express win the U20 division. Pitterona to the plate. So congratulations to Napanee and Sudbury on their championships. Pitterona, first base hit for the Stompers since the 4th. It's a 2-out base hit. Blake Underwood, he's got the game's only run. Singled, advanced on a couple of wild pitches, and came home to score in a sac fly RBI by Reese Evans. That's been it. Underwood fouls this one off down the right side. Blake's been on board both times. Single and a walk. Both of those came against Riley Mannion, so he's getting his first look at Colin Walsh. The last of the Toronto Batmen are making their way out to the parking lot. Toronto coming in third. Good showing by the All-Ontario Batmen. Justin Schofield doing some ball management in the Bear Creek Express dugout. 1-2. Blake Underwood. High hopper, Brandon Horn will tuck that. Out. Top of the 7th. It's Express time. Do or die. Tyler Paulai, Colin Walsh, Travis Jones, 2-3-4 for the Bear Creek Express. And a pre-inning meeting on the mound. Can't do that during the inning anymore. Paulai, strikeout, ground out. Wemo Mata looking to close the deal this year. Couldn't get it done last year. Opens up with a strike. Of course, that wasn't the case at the ISC World Tournament, as Huemo Mata worked in and out of trouble all night long through 150 pitches in the ISC Championship game. 3-0 winners, the Kitchener Twins over the New York Gremlins last year. 8 out of those Twins players making their way over to the Niagara Stompers. We need 9 to be recognized as the defending champions. We won't have one at the ISC World Tournament this year. Swing and a miss. Took something off it, but also stumbled coming out of the gate. That mound pitching circle, if you will, has just taken a beating here this week. Mata says he's okay. Probably caught a cleat coming off the board. But it is rough landing out there. Called. Strike 3, the outside corner. Paulai down looking. Colin Walsh will try to help his own cause. Colin singled all the way back in the first and then lined out to center field. He's hit the ball hard twice. Needs to get on base for Travis Jones and Jeff Lyons and the rest. Strike in the outside corner. Regardless of when the conclusion of this game happens, stay tuned. Joe Todd and I will have a brief post-game ceremony for whomever is the champion. We've got a couple of individual awards to announce as well. Just up high. There's the arm dangle from Huemo Mata, that familiar position. High hopper up over the head of Cam Schiller. Colin Walsh, 2 for 3 on the afternoon with a couple of base hits. So Travis Jones to the plate. One down. Colin Walsh is the potential tying run out at first. Travis Jones ground out the pop-up. The first pitch swinging, and that is going to go well foul and out of play down the left side. Travis, a free swinger, but he can also put one out of the yard here at a moment's notice. Just outside. Mata long look in. That was fouled off at the plate. So Brock Atwell, not sure whether he cleaned it up or made it dirtier. But Huemo Mata's got it back in his right hand and way up and out of the zone, but still Travis Jones thought about going for it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, down goes Travis Jones. So we were here a year ago in this situation. Jeff Lyons had a big base hit a year ago, and that got the Express back into it. We saw him do it last game with a grand slam against the Toronto Batman. Can we get history to repeat itself? Or does Huemo Mata come out on top this time around? In with a strike. Mm-hmm. Okay. Foul back to the screen. Mata kicks, deals, and up and out for a ball. It worked the landing zone, get back to the board. Bent over, the arm dangle. And he and Zara not on the same page. Lyons wants time. Now we're set. That one is outside. Colin Walsh out at first. 2 down here in the inning. And Momata, the Niagara Stompers, looking to clinch the deal. Hopper on the infield. Brock Atwell gets run into by Walsh. And I believe they're going to call runner interference. I saw the arm go out. So we're going to have a conversation about it, or are we? I thought I saw the arm go out. Right now, Trevor and Larry Lynch are having a conversation. Now, Larry is headed out to talk with Kevin D. Domenico. Atwell was coming in for the ball, but there was a small delay in doing so. Walsh stutter stepped and then ran into him. D. Domenico is now going to come in and chat with his confreres Justin Van Horn and Trevor Topping. Tough way to end a tournament and a championship game if indeed that is the call. But right now, Colin Walsh is out at second base. Jeff Lyons at first. Safe, no interference is the call. And we'll get Jason Hill to the plate with 2 runners aboard. That's Jeff Lyons out at first. And Jason Hill, an opportunity to tie the game. Sean Cleary making a pinch running appearance for Jeff Lyons. So that'll be it for Lyons. That's the second time they pinch run for him. If it goes to extra, Sean might have to play third. Time called by Jason Hill as Mata just stayed bent over. He and Zara not on the same page. Now they've got a sign they can agree on. Little bender on the outside corner, or off the outside corner for ball 1. Swing and a miss underneath the rise ball from Huemo Mata. And you hear the oomph as Huemo Mata turns up the dials just a little bit here on Jason Hill. It's been all about location and change of speed, but Huemo Mata capable of cranking it up at any time. There's a chopper in the infield. That's going to get through. Here comes one, and we got ourselves a tie ball game here in the top of the 7th inning. Jason Hill with a single up through the middle, and he brings Colin Walsh around to tie this one up. This one is poked out, but that's going to go foul down the left side. So to the peanut gallery here, if there's a pass ball, do you think Sean Cleary comes in and slides? I don't think so. Dead ball foul at the plate. Pomeroy. That one up and in. Cleary at third. Jason Hill at first. Rise ball popped up on the infield. Giving chase is Evans, and try to get that before it gets to the fence, and he does. And they do get the final out. Well, we got ourselves a tie ball game. We'll go to the bottom of the seventh. Niagara Stompers. Let them tie it. Opportunity. Reese Evans, Juan Cruzera, Brock Atwell, 7-8-9, the bottom of the seventh for Niagara Stompers. We talked about them nursing along that one-run lead, tried to get it all the way over the finish line, got close, but just couldn't close the door. Evans has the only RBI for the Stompers, but that was way back in the second on a fly ball. This one is up and out of play. So Kyle Ezekiel has come into the game in Jeff Lyons' spot. He's now at first base. Jason Hill has traded a big glove for a little glove and has moved over to third. If you listen to Hilly on the podcast, he'd like to be any place other than third base right now. Hard chopper past a diving Tyler Pauli. Reese Evans leads off with a single. Juan Cruzera now to the plate. We'll see if Larry Lynch, Brad Thompson elect to play some small ball or not. Joe Todd would be absolutely bunting in this situation. Zara was squared, but watches for ball one. Hill crashing hard from third. Walsh shakes off 2-3 in time from Dallas Cornelius as either pitch selection or location they can't agree on. Maybe both. Shakes off 3, finally gets something he likes. Swinging away, Zara chases one up and out of the zone, 1-on-1. Bunted foul. 1 and 2. Zara almost assuredly swinging away at this point. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Good sequence there from Colin Walsh. Atwell looks at strike 1. Say hello to our good friend Doug Roberts out in Nanaimo, British Columbia. Been with us all weekend. No bigger fan of the game than Doug Roberts. High hopper on the infield. Walsh scoops that up, tosses to first. They get Atwell. You could call that a swinging bunt. Reese Evans up to second on the play, but now you turn the order over back to the top of the shop, the dangerous Teo Migliavaca. Quiet today, or at least this afternoon. 0 for 3, pair of strikeouts and a pop-up. Hello to our good friend Steve Mullally, joining us from the Ancaster area. This one is laced out to short left. That should be enough to do it as Teo Migliavaca brings home Reese Evans. That is the ball game. Niagara Stompers, your 2023 ISC Canada East qualifier champions. Teo Migliavaca, bottom of the 7th, walks it off. Stay with us here on Softball Premier TV. We are going to have a brief, and I mean brief, post-game ceremony. We will tell you who the MVP and the top pitchers are, and we will congratulate the Niagara Stompers on the championship. Thanks for being with us all weekend here on Softball Premier TV. I have saved the best for last. Luciano Lafrano, Carol Dureste, just an absolutely fantastic job here on the telecast. We thank them so much for everything that they're doing for the game of fastball right now. It is just wonderful to have you with us here at ISC Canada East and the ISC Network. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for being with us here on Father's Day, the ISC Canada East Qualifier Weekend. We'll see you next week from Simcoe, Ontario and Lions Park at the Chiefs Challenge Player Center for Joe Todd. Thanks to Kyle Smith for being with us yesterday afternoon. Kevin Quip, Kevin Getling, everybody Getler, who has helped us out this weekend. We do appreciate it, and we do love you all. Thank you, and good afternoon.
for the latest in softball innovation. The website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball. On demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.